Party. As we can see, despite the end of exams and the semester holidays having very few students on campus, there's still a strong turnout of students who want their right to smoke cannabis peacefully to be respected. Here we can see some students who are not associated with the 420 campus exercising their legal right to possess alcohol on campus. Carrying beloved alcohol to the Scarfy Ghetto, where it will be consumed, and subsequent havoc will be wrought. Here we can see the peaceful 420 protest, conversing, chatting, and campaigning for the upcoming election. Everything that you would hope a university student would be doing. Here we are again at the June 18th, Wednesday 420 protest. As we can see, many enthusiastic supporters, some arriving a little bit late. And today, as a special treat, the local Hinton's Veggie Shop that has a stall on campus twice a week has provided us with free bananas so that we can stay healthy and get our required niacin. Here we can see is a very enthusiastic crowd getting ready to exercise their rights. Cannabis civil disobedience here in the city of Dunsterdam, the southernmost cannabis city in the world. The Hinton's Veggie with much enthusiastic support from the 420 crowd. Here we see local parliamentary candidates for Dunedin North, representing the Aotearoa Leagalise Cannabis Party, Julian Crawford, speaking to a reporter from the DC newspaper.
The government might specify you can grow up to 5 or 10 plants at home, and so if the police come around and it's just a small personal operation, then you don't get prosecuted, but they'll still be enforcing the law for larger amounts.
That is one of your policies, like wholesale legalisation?
Yeah, we believe in the regulated legalisation, which is the model used in Holland with the cafes over there. It's not technically legal in Holland, but by setting up, say, cafes or retail outlets where people buy their weed, allows the government to bring taxation revenue in cannabis, and it sort of eliminates a lot of the harm associated with
No one's breaking the law. My name's Julian Crawford. I'm standing for Parliament this year in the general elections for the Aotearoa Leagalise Cannabis Party. I'm going to be standing in Dunedin North, campaigning for the next 6 months, and we were hoping for a good turnout, hopefully nationwide, for the Cannabis Party come the general election. The election is going to be in October, I think. October or November, so near the end of this year. Around about the same time as the US election. So there'll be a lot of political propaganda flying around in the next few months. Both the Labour and the National Party have received funding of $1 million for their advertising budget. The Aotearoa Leagalise Cannabis Party is often criticised for just being a single issue party and is often dismissed and seen as a joke party, but we're actually serious about getting into Parliament. Best result we've had is 1.6% back in '96. We're hoping to, just go, one step better than that, get to the 5% threshold. So with 5% of the vote, you get, say, 6 or 7 members of parliament. And if that happened, we'd have 6 cannabis smoking politicians. And you know, if elected, these cannabis politicians would be more than willing to spark up a joint in Parliament, or, you know, lead civil disobedience if necessary to change the law. But it may even be possible to change the law entirely within the framework. The way the MMP system works in New Zealand, a small party gets into Parliament and the government needs to rely on them to form a government. That small party make rather large demands that the government's likely to oblige. So if the Cannabis Party got into Parliament and the government needed their support, then the Cannabis Party could say, well, we'll give you our support in return for, you know, legalising cannabis for, you know, personal, medicinal, recreational, industrial, you know, just the various uses of cannabis. We don't just recommend open slather on cannabis. We are wanting to bring in a regulated model. This is where cannabis is legal, but it's regulated. The existing Class D framework, which has recently been introduced in New Zealand, would be ideal for cannabis. So cannabis, the only law change that would have to happen would be a reclassification of cannabis from Class C to Class D. And if this was done, cannabis could then be sold in cafes or retail outlets who would be licensed to supply small amounts of cannabis, like we've seen in Holland and Vancouver and various places. And the government can receive a taxation income from the sales of cannabis in these cafes. So that way everyone sort of wins. The government wins, they get to gain some taxation from cannabis, and people get to buy it in cafes. But of course, not everyone wants to pay tax to the government. We also propose that you can grow your own plants at home, the home grown model, and this means a certain limit would be set by the government, say, 10, 15, 20 plants. If anyone grew, under that many plants, it would be legal, but if you got caught with something large scale, you could still be busted. So it's just legalising personal use of cannabis within certain limits, but not just full legalisation of any amount. But I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily. Then the other main feature of our policy is the medicalisation of marijuana. To introduce cannabis-based medicines for a range of ailments, particularly chronic pain-related symptoms. There's AIDS, wasting, cancer-related things. Cannabis is good for anti-nausea properties. It has a range of medical